Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Ratanataya.
So warm greetings to everyone on this full moon Uposatha night. We had technical challenges. The Zoom was doing something that I hear from tech support it has never been known to do before. So I'm glad that it seems like I can see you and can those who are online, can you give me some kind of signal if you're able to see and hear all right now? Hiruanti, greetings, and others. Oh, excellent. All right, sadhu. So let's go ahead then. And thanks so much to the patience of our tech support team working it all out. So this is our 6th 2023 winter retreat Uposatha program on the April full moon. And this is the final closing program for our 2023 winter retreat. So my goodness, anicca, it comes to this. So this is a sharing and dedication program now, and I'd just like to share my greetings with Venerable Bhikkhuni Suvijana Terry, and so much appreciate her being here now that she's emerged from retreat at our hermitage and is also now beginning to share teachings. Greetings to Ayya Brahmawada from afar. And also to Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammawada, seminaries here, and Venerable Bhikkhunis and seminaries at our Aranya Bodhi Awakening Forest Hermitage, and also to our friends, Upasikas, dedicated practitioners who are here together at our Forest Hermitage and joining us from near and far online. So just warm Uposatha greetings to everyone. Ekaya no Mako, where the whole path comes together, returning home to the Satipatthanas. It has really been, I feel at least for myself, like a very good choice of topic for teaching and contemplation and practice during these last 3 months. And not the end of that. I feel for myself that this is just like, each step is the end of the previous step, right? So in one way it's an end, and in one way it's continuation, and in one way it's stepping into the new. So for myself, I feel very much like there's so much in here that even after all these years of practice, it's just so worthy that I really want to give more time to contemplate and to train and to practice with and to explore, to discuss together. If I have a chance even, I may share some, I don't know, like bonus or encore teachings after that. We were just speaking about it. So just to say, we're starting about 10 minutes late, and while I had not planned to go super overtime for this program, might be 10 minutes, we'll see. So I'd like to share with you something about this full moon Uposatha Day, April 5th, 2023, recognizing and appreciating and feeling a sense of connection and kinship with our many Buddhist kin, friends, and Dhamma family around the world. Today in Sri Lanka, this full moon is the Bappuya Day full moon, commemorating the Buddha's second visit to Sri Lanka to the Nagadipa island on the north coast off the Jaffna Peninsula to heal the dispute over the throne between warring chieftains. How familiar does that sound? Oh, dedications of the Buddha's presence for harmony, pacification. Bappuya means the Bhagya Uposatha, the auspicious, fortunate, or blessed Uposatha day. Bhagya being like the Buddha, Bhagava, the blessed one. It's the time in South and Southeast Asia that people happily have spring cleaning. Now this week, cleaning up their homes and surrounds in the week leading up to the South and Southeast Asian Astro-Solar New Year. In India, it's the Chaitra, Purnima, Chitta, Punami in Pali. And it's the first full moon of the Indian lunar calendar. So starting the year. And it's the month leading up to Vaishaka or Vesak. So then Vesak is what then comes after the Astro-Solar New Year, placing us in time. The sun and stars, for today it's the Hasta or Hashta Nakshatra on the South Asian Astro-Solar calendar. I wanted to note for this day, Hasta means hand, and that the Buddha called himself in the early Buddhist teachings, he characterized himself rather than being a closed fist teacher, which is called the Acharya Mutti for like secret teachings that are only accessible to a chosen few or those who have been initiated and this kind of thing. In the early Buddhist teachings, the Buddha called himself an open hand teacher. So I want to remember that today as we're in the constellation. It's called the Hasta hand constellation. The Buddha's dedication to revealing everything openly in the early Buddhist teachings, keeping nothing hidden, nothing secret. It's all up to us whether we come and see for ourselves. There's no closed fist teaching in the early Buddhist teaching. And this particular time with sun and stars traditionally is supposed to be excellent for auspicious activities. And we're certainly gathered for auspicious activities all together now. So I'd like to note here as particularly relevant that the Buddha says that developing the 4 satipatthanas truly is diligently, ardently, and mindful, having given up greed and distress for the world, even for as long as a snap of the fingers. They're the ones who follow the teacher's instruction and advice. They are those for whom the giving of gifts, the giving of alms is worthy, and they are most auspicious. So for this auspicious conjunction of our placement in the solar system right at this time, that seemed propitious. So as I mentioned, we're 1 week away from the South and Southeast Asian New Year, known as Songkran in Thai and Avarudu in Sinhala, Sri Lankan language. And also, just a couple of days from now, April 8th, is known as International Buddhist Day. And that's because, why? Have you ever heard of it? Someone asked about it a few days ago, so I thought to mention that. And there are lots of those who have adopted the, say, Western calendar or Gregorian calendar. And then the East Asian lunar calendars, the 4th month, 8th day is considered to be the Buddha's birthday. We call Vesak. And when that's pasted over onto the Gregorian calendar, then that comes to be April 8th. So this year, with it being also a lunar leap year, then actually that day in East Asia is not till May 27th this year. And for us here at Dhammadharini, most lunar calendar Vesak Buddha Day celebrations around the world are going to be between the May full moon and the June full moon due to the lunar leap year. And here with Dhammadharini, we've just decided a few days ago that we're planning on celebrating Vesak at the end of May or beginning of June. And the date will be forthcoming for those who have been asking. All are welcome and invited to join us later on for Buddha Day as we enter our our new year in the astro-solar year. So it's our last Uposatha program. And this time period of our winter retreat has then spanned the Western International Roman New Year from when we started in January through the East Asian Lunar New Year. And now with our retreat ending, completing on this full moon Uposatha day, then again, the South and Southeast Asian astro-solar New Year is just a week from now. So what an excellent way to begin the year, this year. I just want to say sadhu to all of the fortunate conditions and everyone who's joined us together. So this final program today will be a chance for sharing, both sharing our experiences and then also for sharing blessings. And I would like to welcome and invite everyone who's joined us to share one highlight from these past 3 months of teaching and of practice in retreat on the Satipatthanas. You're also welcome if you'd like to share one blessing or a dedication at the end. If you're joining online, you can write these into the chat or you can share out loud. Our tech support is here faithfully to help and assist you. If you'd like to be anonymous, you can still share, just write in the chat to our tech support. And I'd like to note that although we started late, we were not planning to go so late this evening as we did on our last Uposatha with our 5-hour Dhamma marathon upon my emergence from retreat. So not so very long sharing as last time. We'll see.
Vitanjali Anadivarang Ayya Chata Santita Sata Parajaka Jatika Dese tu Dhammang Anukampimang Pajang.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Ita bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kayanupasi viharati. Atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhicha tomanasan. Here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body in the body in and of itself, ardent, alert, and mindful, having put aside covetousness and distress for the world. Vedanasu vedananupasi viharati. Atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhicha domanasang. They abide contemplating feelings in feelings, feelings in and of themselves, ardent, alert, and mindful, having put aside covetousness and distress for the world. Chitte chittanupasi viharati. Atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke apicha domana sang. They abide contemplating the mind in the mind, the heart mind, in and of itself, ardent, alert, and mindful, having put aside covetousness and distress for the world. Dhammesu dhammanupasi viharati atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke apicha tomana sang. They abide contemplating these Dhamma topics for attention. In these Dhamma topics for attention, these mental qualities, in and of themselves, ardent, alert, and mindful, having put aside covetousness and distress for the world. Before our sharing time, we have one final meditation session together. Setting up our meditation posture, putting aside all our desires, obsessions, and distresses with regards to the world, at least for now, for this time. Offering this space of refuge. Refuge is sarana. This is a kind of nisarana. Very good to give ourselves minutes, time to do this very regularly. At least for a few minutes, at least once, every day, wherever we may be, so that it becomes deeply trained in us, deeply ingrained in us, that we become fluent, conversant, skilled, ready in this skill, this refuge. It's such a great relief. You can feel that relief in the body. Notice how we feel it. Something clean and pure, calming, relaxing, tranquilizing, opening. Into the breath, ana, prana, the flow of our vital energy. Actually, this very day, now, thousands, if not millions of people around the world attending specially to the breath, as in old Indic meditative cultures, spiritual traditions, this time right now is said to be especially good time to attend to the breath. Old tradition, we join in together with thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of breathing beings and consciously breathing humans, humanity together. Through the breath, calming and tranquilizing our kaya sankaras. Of body and breath. Deeply and intimately sensitive to the experience of the body, to experiencing the body and breath, the breath body. To the ever-shifting and unfolding of experience, appearing and disappearing. In all the bases, our body, our feelings, of heart and mind. Sensitive to that rise and fall, that appearing and disappearing. Sensitive to causation, with an interested intention to see and know and understand causal conditions in a way that will be helpful and insightful for us to grow in wisdom and skill in life and death. Mindful of our mortality, that we don't know our time of death, or most of us don't know. With dedication to be attentive, aware, sensitive, dedicated to applying ourselves well, with freedom from regret in whatever moments and time that we do have. With keen interest to understand the Dhamma through these four bases of body, feelings, heart, mind, and intellect. The heart wish to apply ourselves truly, well and effectively in the path of practice, to grow in the noble path, to grow in the Master's way. dedicating and applying all of the merits of our efforts to this, like turning compost back into the ground to nurture and greatly support the growth and good harvest that will come. Mudita. May the goodness that we've gained not be lost, but increase and be supported by my efforts, our efforts, your efforts, evermore, until coming to complete fulfillment. Likewise, mudita, we spread out our hearts to share this wish with all of our Dhamma friends here together, far and wide, living, those to come, those who've already passed away. Likewise, to all dear beings. Remembering our insights, recollecting them, insights gained. Keen moments of understanding and intuition. Coming back to them again, furthering them, exploring them more deeply. Growing in the path with mindfulness and wisdom. And each time, coming back again and again to our home base, returning to just the knowing, Jnanamataya, coming back again and again to just that pure reflective awareness. Patisatimataya. To abiding independent, free. Anisito chaviharati. Not clinging to anything in the world. Na chakinchiloke upadhyati.
Evam bhikho bhikhoe bhikkhu. Kaye kayanupasi. Vedana vedananupasi. Chitte chittanupasi. Hamesu hammanupasi viharati. Ekayano ayang bhikkhave mako satanang visuddhya sokaparito anang samatikamaya dukkha domanasanang atangamaya nyayasa adhikamaya nippanasa satchikiryaya yadidang chattaro satipattanati iti yang tang utang idametang paticca uttanti. So it was with reference to this that it was said, because this is the direct path, the one-way path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the attainment of the true way, for the realization of Nibbana, namely, establishment of the four foundations of mindfulness. And it was for this reason that it was spoken of. Anicca, all that arises must come to pass. Breathing in, breathing out, mindful of our bodies, feelings, heart, mind. Gathering up the intellect for Dhamma sharing, because now we come to the time of our sharing program. Now, I turned the heat on in here
Last time I came, it was quite cold, so this time I dressed warmly. This time they turned the heat on very warm. So uh, you can make it however it's good for you. I'm okay either way. It's like a tropical paradise. If we seem like warm and like glowing with warmth, then so it's now time for our sharing program, sharing highlights from these 3 months of practice, and then the sharing of blessings. So now, not only from me, but from every one of us here, now each of you have a chance to share your thoughts on Dhamma. This is a whole Sangha Dhamma sharing this evening. So I'd like to invite now everyone who would like to join in. And I want to check and see if our Aranya Bodhi Hermitage is online. Is there any way to make it so we can, the boxes are not so tiny? Anyway, that's okay. Okay. Well, you don't have to keep them like that, but just to let know you're going to be welcome very soon. And I'd like to ask everyone, if possible, to keep like no more than 2 or 3 minutes for your sharing, and welcome to share just anything that was like a highlight for you in the teachings, in the Dhamma contemplation, in the practice. Anything that you realized, you're invited and welcome. And I'd like to begin by inviting among all of our bhikkhunis who are present. I don't know, there might be more online who I can't see besides Venerable Gajayana. But is Ayya Brahmawara on with us? No. Maybe like 4 a.m. for her in UK right now. I'd like to invite Ayya Suvijana. If you would like to share, would you be happy to go ahead?
Certainly, I could share.
Okay. You've been very quiet during this time. A couple of days ago, we had a time of like Dhamma and discussion together. I was so interested in others' experience, and I found the Dhamma discussion so valuable. So I look forward to hearing from each of you, from everyone who would like to share. Welcome, Ayya Suvijane.
So do I. I had the wonderful opportunity to spend time at the Hermitage on the Sonoma Coast. And as many of you know, it's quite rustic. And so part of the contemplation of the body was of the aging body in response to an environment that's quite challenging. And so we've had an unusually, or it's actually not so unusual in the broader scope of the history of California, but the weather was quite wet and cold. And, like this last few decades, we've had much milder winters. So it's interesting that the Kaya Uposatha, the contemplating of the body, the Vedana Uposatha, Chitta Uposatha, Dhamma Uposatha, they all are pretty integrated. This is what I realized, like it's cold, the body is in pain because of the aging body. The response to the cold is much more painful then the mind responds to that, the Vedana, the unpleasant Vedana of the cold and the pain, and then the proliferation arises of how it's not supposed to be this way, this aversion or unwholesome mental state can arise. But it seemed like that when I started really focusing on just kind of the Vedana, just seeing it, this is unpleasant Vedana at the body door. It's unpleasant Vedana at the mind door, the aversion. And so I think this is there was a teaching about the just that finger snap. So the finger snap of the realization of unpleasant Vedana, unpleasant Vedana at the body door, unpleasant Vedana at the mind door, they're kind of slam. And then it was easier to let go, because it's kind of foolish to think it's not supposed to be this way, or why isn't the kuti this way or that way, or whatever it is that arises with the proliferation. So this abandoning of the unwholesome states, but it seems like it's an ongoing process. In the teaching, it's saying having let go of the grief or the desire, but we're also doing this within the practice of the Satipatthana, I think, or maybe we're still preparing. I don't know, but for me, it seems like the awareness of the Vedana, seen in terms of just pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, helps to bring wisdom to the situation rather than ignorance. So, and then the mind can settle and calm. And there's also abandoning the taints through enduring. And it occurred to me that this kind of enduring isn't enduring like gritting your teeth and saying, I'm just putting up with the cold, or I'm just putting up with this pain, or whatever it was. If the situation arises that's unpleasant and we need to endure, there's nothing we can do, then the mind can still be at ease and peaceful. And this is how things are. And I think this is what the enduring means. Maybe that's not a good translation of the word, but it's tolerating, or it's patient endurance. Maybe the patience is what needs to be included in that description. So, along with the Vedana, just understanding that the mind, even though it's unpleasant, it's unpleasant and it can't be avoided, doesn't have to be disturbed. So that's what I'd like to share that's what I was working with in a challenging, physically challenging body as it ages, and a physically challenging situation, being so rustic and the comfort levels not being what we'd like it to be. So I offer this for your reflection. And am I supposed to say any blessing at this point, or this comes later? Huh?
Later is okay.
Later is okay.
So I'd just like to mention that in our own Dhamma discussion here that happened a few days ago, then we had such an interesting, valuable, lovely, and enlivening Dhamma discussion about working with pain and dukkha, vedana in the practice. And I know this is something that Ayya Brahmawada worked with a lot in the teachings that are now up on YouTube, that this came up again and again. I feel like I'd actually like to offer some more time, even like again and again. It's just so big, so important for so many of us, if not all of us. I feel like I just like to offer a lot of open-hearted time for working with pain, dukkha, vedana, in line with the Dhamma, discussing that, sharing about that together. So I just thought to mention this aspiration. I just feel so good and happy, strangely, about offering like more and more time for working with pain. And now I'd like to invite at our hermitage, Venerable Kachayana. If you would be happy to share, you're welcome and invited. How about highlights for you during this time? And I just want to recognize Venerable Kachayana has like just incredibly faithfully with dedication. I'm sorry, now maybe I'll make you forget whatever you wanted to say. Served as a retreat manager at Aranya Bodhi during this whole winter retreat time. So what an enormous sanghadana and what a practice. So welcome. Happy to hear from you. You're welcome and invited.
Anyway, yeah, so I guess this retreat time I have been more in the support role. And I feel like that's been a good thing. It's sort of been this sense of being just a cog in the machine of the Sangha and, keeping it running. And so I'm actually most interested in hearing about everyone else's experiences, because that was the goal, is to make everyone have a retreat and have hopefully benefit from that. So I'm just happy to be here and to be able to hear how it's been for all of you. And that is my happiness to do that. And that is my benefit from this retreat. So I'll let you all carry on with that.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, according to the Buddha's teaching, then, when you offer dana for the other people, for all of the people who then use that dana, if they put that to good use, then you share in the merits of that for as long as those merits last. And so, for like 3 months of retreat time, for how much merit there is in that and how long that will last, and be coming back to you and everyone else who's been a part of offering and supporting that together. Wow, it's practically, it's like immeasurable, incalculable. So, in the Buddha's teaching, I feel like there's so much that's like, it exists already. It's already like that. It already exists. But our recollection and our turning and directing our mind to something, and then our recognizing that activates so much of incredible blessing and benefit, that if we don't think about it, if we don't know it, we don't remember it, we don't turn our minds to it, we can even just be like kind of like meh, blah, don't recognize we're just doing something. Like so many people are just like that with their bodies and breath and even minds and hearts, right? And yet, wow, when we turn our minds to it and recognize there's so much there of such great blessings and merit. And the such dana is not small. Oh, anumodana. By anumodana, if I sincerely anumodana, then also I join in sharing your merits together as well. So it's like free blessings for me. And anyone and everyone who joins in that together. So I'd now like to invite and welcome Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammawada whatever you might like to share. Highlights of this one.
I'm just reflecting gratitude and joy in this practice. As this retreat is ending, had noticed some resistance in having to reopen the computer and having to go back to work. But if I take a moment and I reflect on the generosity and the care of our supporters and their inspiration of just showing up with us and not just feeding us, but being here with us. If I think of Ayya Brahmavara in Vinamukha China, it's just generously giving up their own retreat time to support us. Everybody here, even taking a moment to reflect on that and the joy within my heart that I myself experienced, and all I had to do was close the computer. If I reflect on that, the joy and the gratitude in this retreat just continue to live on and get deeper and deeper. And for that, I am extremely, truly grateful for all of you and all of your support. And what a great lesson that is. What a great relief of pain that is.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, anything else in your experience with the teachings in the retreat, during the retreat time that you found valuable that you'd like to share?
Just the experience of peace and being able to put everything down and experience peace in how really heavy thoughts are and absolutely unnecessary for them during that time. So yeah, it was quite joyful to actually not think.
Do we have Uposatha with us or no? Not for another
No.
2 weeks still? Okay. Ayya Brahmavara is here with us? No, okay. Seminary Satima, welcome to share one or more of the highlights of this time for you.
So thank you, Ayya, and homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Venerable Assembly of the Sangha. I was also very fortunate to be able to spend the retreat time here at Arani Bodhi, supporting Ayya Sobana's retreat and assisting Venerable China and caring for the facilities. I think I also was able to get some retreat time thanks to Venerable China and to the many supporters, so for which there's a tremendous amount of gratitude. And one of the things I'd like to share about my own retreat is an experience that I had when I moved into my kuti. There's a propane stove there instead of a wood stove. And I noticed soon after settling in that the propane stove requires some degree of vigilance in terms of noting the moment at which the tank becomes empty. I found that if, like say it's in the middle of the night and it's cold and rainy and the tank is starting to empty out, it'll start to choke and sputter and spit, and that's the signal that it's about to go out of fuel. So if after a short time after that, you don't catch it at that point, it'll just die out. And so one night I was in the kuti and I heard this sputtering and I knew, okay, it's about to go. And but it was pretty dark and cold, and maybe it was raining, I don't remember, but I didn't get up. I didn't bother to go outside and change the tank, and I waited until the next morning. But then I found by putting it off, it was extremely hard to start the ignition switch, to start the stove again, because the ignition had gone cold, all the fumes had died out. And so, I just noticed that I had to keep cranking the switch over and over and over, it felt like a billion times to get the spark to light the fuel of the new tank. So I noted that, but maybe a time or two passed and that same experience happened where, I could hear the stove spitting and that's the signal, and I didn't get up. I put it off again. But then one afternoon, I heard that sound and I thought, oh, I know this. Kind of like Ayya during your 5-hour talk, you talked about the dog, like, oh, I hear the barking dog. Okay, that's the signal. So I could hear the stove and I heard the signal. And when it went out, I went right outside and changed the tank right away. And when I got back in and hit the ignition switch, I noticed that I only had to hit it one time for the flame to come on. It just lit right away. And I thought, what an amazing Dhamma lesson. By waiting in the practice, the Satipatthana practice, I noticed that, I had some duties that I had to attend to here at the Hermitage. And, I could make many excuses for not practicing the exercises in the Satipatthana. And I could find a billion reasons to put them off. But I noticed that if I could just keep lightly touching some exercise all day long, even if it's just seeing or hearing or touching or something light and small, it was like the fumes of the propane stove were kept going. And so by hitting that very light touch of some exercise throughout the day, it's like hitting that ignition switch on the propane stove, and the practice like came right back on right away. I was fascinated and deeply encouraged by that. I know I'm probably over 3 minutes. I'm really sorry. But I got so excited because it felt like such a powerful Dhamma teaching to just train in the way of just continuing to keep the fumes of the practice going, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just very light. So I was able to do that, and more or less, and I feel really grateful for this proclaimed Ajahn, and to all of you for your practice and all the many ways that your support and your practice enabled me to be here at Dhammadharini and in this retreat. And my blessings to all of you. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May samsara be short for you. This is a good sign. Oh. Seminary Tavira is temporarily stepping away from serving as tech support. I'd just like to say she served as tech support so many times during this winter retreat time. So this is also a great dana to the whole community. Communications, dana, facilitation. It's like printing Dhamma books. It's offers people the opportunity to be able to hear the Dhamma. So it's a big part of Dhamma dana and supporting the practice together. So Anumodhana, thank you very much for all your service. And any highlights for you? One or highlights, welcome.
As everyone has said, feels like such a privilege to be able to be in this retreat container with everyone both here physically with us and everyone who's been joining us online and everyone supporting, just practicing so sincerely and with such dedication, and like everyone in their different ways and everyone having different experiences, but just really feeling the support of all of that coming together. And I had opportunity for 3 weeks of secluded retreat time at the Hermitage, which was wonderful. But also having a lot of opportunity for doing my usual duties as part of the community and a lot of tech support, and the incredible privilege to support Ayya Tathaloka during her secluded retreat time. And just feeling like it's all really feeling like it's all part of one thing. Like it's not like, oh no, I have to work so that I can get retreat. Like just like really feeling like it's all kind of an integrated whole of the practice. And kind of within that integrated whole, really appreciating the sense of using kind of this framework of the Satipatthana and these like different frames of reference to sort of like disassemble things into its pieces and see how those pieces really aren't that personal. And there's these different parts and they all arise due to the conditions that led up to them. And therefore, if I look at one of those pieces and I say, this is causing me suffering, just feeling like there it kind of opens up all of this freedom or all of this kind of latitude to say, okay, well, what conditions resulted in that? And where can I make a change in that string of conditions that will then change that outcome? And just, obviously it's sometimes that works well and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's these patterns are so deeply ingrained and it's not easy to change them. But really feeling like it kind of opens up all of this space to have more choice and more agency over all of it, and really look at it and say, this thing that I've always done makes me suffer and I can change it. So just really seeing the value of all of that practice and having so much appreciation for everyone who's been part of it and everything that's made it possible. And now I'll return to my tech support.
Sorry, I didn't mention about all your support during my retreat. I think about this body these days being a kind of merit body, not especially my merit, but the merit of everybody together who's like their offerings are what make this body. And let's see, now I want to check and see also, do we have Patipada? How about Farron?
Do not see Farron.
Okay, so we want to invite and welcome Patipada. We want to welcome Sutina. We want to welcome Kim if she's on with us. And others also. And I want to ask, I know that some people have a really keen sense of time, not me, others are more like me. And so I want to request, would someone be willing to be like, just to support all of us, just to like, if someone has come to 2 minutes, to gently ring the bell one time, and if they come to 3 minutes, to ring it a second time? Yes? Okay. Would you be happy to do that?
I have no way of.
There's a clock right there.
I have time. Don't
Oh, okay, yes, please, Sutina, but then who will do for you? No. You'll do for yourself? Okay. So then I would like to invite, well, would you like to time yourself first?
Okay then.
Yes? No. You're the one who's giving the mic to everyone here, so then welcome to come here.
Go back or something.
You can be here.
Awesome.
Yes, welcome. Yeah, that's full of like Dhamma teaching vibes. Maybe share all the blessings of all the.
Okay, timer. All right. Deep appreciation for the Dhamma chair and for
this time. I've been here for all of March and rounding home base now, as Ayya Tathaloka likes to say. I really appreciate that teaching and this theme of coming home, because that's ultimately always how it feels. It's coming home to a place you didn't know was your home. And that's very, very rich. But I feel like the defining characteristic of Satipatthana, of Sati, we talked about as this practice of remembrance. It's actually the sense of receiving, of a receptivity, of really sitting back and letting the whole world come to you. And just as we were speaking about last night, so wisely with Ayya Suvijana, and just using the Yoniso Manasikara, the wise attention, the proper and careful attention, the evaluating all of these foundations and visitors as they come, and receiving them gently. And so in my role, I think that's kind of easy, or in the sense I just kind of step back and let it all happen. As someone who's serving here, I just, have to show up every day, do the things that allow for our bodies and minds to do the work that needs to be done, and feeling so grateful to the Lord Buddha for creating this Sangha, but also each one of us to maintain this Sangha and to be in a Sangha that thrives. It's like it's like seeing the Dharma creek at Aranya Bodhi, so rich, so full, so eager. And so, okay, I got 11 seconds. All right. So thank you for your careful listening.
Thank you for sharing, and I want to invite others who will come together with us. If you would like to share something, then you're welcome to put up your hand or to put a note to our tech support, who is now back on duty again. Inviting. Oh, there's a hand. Yes, I can't quite. Oh, Kim is there. Yes, welcome. Please, Kim. If you would like to share, then you're welcome to share yourself. Oh, hi, Kim.
Is there a time limit? Did I hear something about a time limit? It won't be that long. Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you too.
Oh, I just want to say how grateful I am to be back here my second year in a row, and I've come in between. And last year I was able to be here for 3 months, and this time it's just been a few weeks. But I think in every time I come here, I feel very lucky to be with individuals, with especially so many women that just know, like, have a deep sense of knowing about like what is true, and help me kind of find my track back to that kind of knowing that is really easy to lose when you're out in LA or wherever I'm at the moment. And so it's a real sense of grounding to come here and to be of service, and to know, like, it's been just beautiful here to be like, okay, Samaneri Satyama and I are trying to take care of each other while also trying to learn how to take care of ourselves, but trying to help each other, but we're both the type of people who just like want to take care of the other one. So just trying to find a balance with that has been like hilarious and mildly frustrating at times. And then, Venerable Kachina is somebody who always is like just a kind of rock for me, and somebody who I always kind of like just feel so calm and easy around. And it's been very cool that, okay, so we're supporting each other, who's supporting, Tavira to be in her retreat. And when Tavira's in her retreat, then Venerable Kachina goes and Samana Satima takes over here to help you on your retreat. And it's like, we're all really like working together and helping each other in the same way that Satima are learning how to do, where it's like, okay, we want to do what's good for others and also what is good for us. And sometimes it's the same thing, but not always. And trying to discern that is really interesting. In a community, we were talking earlier about how a Sangha is a little bit like a family, and a lot of those same patterns come up. And I haven't been in a family unit for a very long time. And I've always sort of like not been interested in being part of communities in this way. And, by chance, went through a horrible breakup, and Tavira, my childhood friend, says, come and be with us. And I was introduced to this, and I feel like the Sangha is something that I didn't know that I needed, and I didn't know was so important, and it really is. And it's going to be interesting for me to go out in the world again and to try to maintain my relationship with this community, and then maybe to also find some sort of community wherever I am, however that may work. I'm not sure, but it's just even when it's frustrating or hard, it's just really fun to be here with you guys and to, feel like I'm part of it.
Kim, I don't know, there's something about the Zoom for the bell, for this particular bell, that it's like it just can't the sound.
You gotta play me off, you gotta keep hitting it.
Or not. I'm sorry to interrupt.
It wasn't, to be fair.
It made any sound or not.
No, not on our end. But thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you for sharing. And I'm just reflecting on, of course, anicca is everything all the time, all conditioned things. And Satina this is like her last full day here. And for Patipada, she undertook anagarika for the 3 months of the winter retreat and was here together, but needed to leave just a little bit earlier due to a funeral, or double funeral, or memorial service. And so I think I can see you there. So nice to see you. Would you like to share a highlight or two from your winter retreat time together?
I would be happy to. It was a great blessing and opportunity to be able to spend the retreat in such a powerful environment. And knowing that my husband's, both his parents died within a few months of each other. The father died in December. So this event of having this memorial was coming up, and I was kind of dreading it. But being with this in the monastery environment helped me to see why the aversion was so strong. It helped me to see the history that has led to me not wanting to go home. I wanted to stay at the monastery. And that experience in itself has made it a much easier and pleasant transition back to my home. So I just want to say thanks to all of you for your encouragement and your support and your teachings. Each one of you have given me powerful life lessons that I am using at home. So thank you all very, very much.
Sadhu.
Tena Sayatu. I know you were hoping to be able to have time like this even for several years, and I'm so glad
I want to
it
be able
worked
to do
out
this
for
every
you
year.
this winter.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah. You
absolutely.
know, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama would say, it's like a flash of lightning in the dark of the night amidst humanity to have like an aspiration and inspiration. And then, you know, so many people, and it's rare to have that, but then to be able to actually go ahead and like further that, to be able to go and do it is so much more rare and precious. And I just
Definitely.
recognize this and bless the fortunate conditions that we've had here now during this time. I'd like to check
Sadhu, sadhu.
for others who are online. I'd like to invite and welcome. Is there someone else I want to recognize that Suhasini is actually now, she joined us online earlier on during the retreat and is actually now physically here with us. Although not in the hall together, but I see that she's online, and I want to recognize there are a number of you who are online together who have really like faithfully joined together for the programs for the entirety of winter retreat
Yes,
time.
to
And
go.
I can't see everyone on the screen here, but I know that like Ruanti and Mayatri also, I think any program that I joined that was live online or that I saw afterwards, I saw you here together, and just really anumodana, punya anumodana for all the goodness of this practice time together. I'd like to invite and welcome anyone else who would like to share a highlight of the teachings. Yes, please.
There's a comment from Julie in the chat wanting to thank Rolanti for leading responses. I think probably means during the refuges and precepts, helping to show the way with Anjali. And Suhasini says she is very humble and grateful to be here. And she'll be out of quarantine tomorrow. That was my comment. Sheila, is he hand raised?
Yes, please, Sheila.
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening,
evening,
Ayya.
Sheila.
I would like to
You've
share,
joined a lot also.
and I have loved the opportunity to and grateful for the opportunity. I would like to, in particular, thank Ayya Brahmawara for her teachings, and one in particular was an Uposatha Dhamma talk and taking of the 8 precepts on a few months ago. Perhaps it might have been back in January. And the teaching that was significant for me was taking the 8 precepts on the half moons, which I have been doing and expect to continue to do. And that was a new teaching and understanding for me, and I've been doing that since that teaching. So thank you, and it's been
Sadhu.
just very helpful to my practice and understanding. And I would like to say, Ayya, that I played back that last month's Uposatha Dhamma talk several times. It feels like a gem that I go back to again and again. So I thank you for all of your teaching and the way in which you provide context and history, and it's very, very helpful to understand much more than just the suttas in and of themselves, but to get history and context and nuance is very important and helpful to me as part of my learning style. So thank you.
Sheila, thank you very much for saying that. I just want to hold Ayya Brahmawada at heart. Invite everyone else to do so with just so much love and appreciation. Her offerings during this time have just been really enormous and immense. And so just all blessings to her is like just an incredible offering in this lifetime. Sheila, what you mentioned about giving the context related to the suttas, this is something that I haven't been replying to my emails or messengers or things like this during this time, but you're not the only one who said this, and I'm actually thinking about making, perhaps if the conditions are supportive, a few, maybe shorter, maybe not 5 hours, maybe not even 2 hours, but a few videos or video teachings just about a number of the concepts that we have in the early Buddhist teachings, the polytext traditions, that are, very, very deeply lodged in their own historical and cultural context. And so there are a number of questions and topics that came up that I have not been addressing during this time. And if I have a chance in the next couple of weeks, I'd like to, offer some more teachings on particular subjects and topics that were asked about and requested. We'll see if the conditions are there for it. Yes, please. I'm getting tech support signals, so no.
Yes.
Okay. Were you going to ring the bell on me? No. Ruanti, welcome. Rejoicing in your practice and Dhamma contemplation during this time.
Sadhu Ayya, Thiruvan Saranai.
Teruan Saranai
So,
means blessings of the triple gem.
it's hard to find words to express the joy that my heart feels tonight. I'm immensely grateful for the opportunity that I had to participate in the retreat. So the Satipatthana study has been so enriching for particularly personally to my life. It has been ringing in the back of my mind, I think. I remember many a times I would look at my mind and catch it. Oh, there, this is anger. No, don't follow it. And one day I remember very well, I was seeing my neighbor's flower, and right at that moment, I was hearing Saragang va chittang, Saragang chittanti bhajanati. So it really became kind of like a song in the back of my mind. So I think this Satipatthana study is just beginning, and it's the words of the Buddha. Kalyana Mitra is the 100% whole of the path, something like that. So it's just coming to my mind. So I'm ever so grateful for all the teachings, so the study, and the opportunity to take precepts on Uposatha days. So much gratitude to all the Dhamma friends, Sangha community, and the Dhammadharani community, and everyone who made this possible. Thank you so much. And sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Anumodami. So I know for a number of people it's the first time that they've joined in, particularly in Uposatha practice together. And it's just in the last couple of years that Dhammadrini has been then like publicly offering the Uposatha programs. Although for the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, this is like built into our monastic life in the monastery. But in the early Buddhist traditions, in fact, people would gather and do really, what we're doing, dana, sila, bhavana, engaging in generosity, undertaking and renewing the refuges and precepts, listening to the Dhamma, talking about the Dhamma together, meditating together. And, for those who draw near, those who are not monastics but have some part of monastic in their heart, or really who are dedicated practitioners or wanting to deepen your understanding, contemplation and practice of the Dhamma, this is something that was really recommended by the Buddha, practiced in the early Buddhist communities, and still practiced in many communities around the world. And I think there's a power in having special days like this where we share in dedication together. It's part of the power and blessings of Sangha, of the Sangha. So I rejoice in everyone joining together, and if you feel like you would like us to continue offering Uposatha programs like this, please send us an email or text or write in comments. Let us know if this is something that you feel is worthy to continue. I proposed it 2 years ago as a kind of an experiment. And so we've offered during the winter retreat time and then during the Vasa for the last 2 years. So let us know what you think and whether you'd like it to continue or not. And let me check in with our tech support. Yes, please. We have a message from the chat, and then we're going to move on to our sharing of blessings. And I have something prepared for this, and I think Suvijana might as well. Yes,
So, message from the chat. I'm not quite sure if this is to be anonymous, so I will keep it anonymous. Saying, this is my second year participating in your winter retreat via Zoom. This year has been equally as powerful as last. I am particularly grateful for being able to experience all the different teachers and teaching and continually reflect on Venerable Sayadaw Ujagara's talk, which I feel simplified so many things that were feeling cluttered to me, and on Ayya Tathaloka's words, particularly knowing and spaciousness. I'm very grateful I found Buddhism via Zoom during the pandemic. Hashtag causes and conditions.
Sadhu. Yes, causes and conditions indeed. So now I'd like to take a moment of pause, and I feel like already, all of those who are speaking are sharing blessings already. And I'd like to check in and see if Suvijana would like to share some words of blessings. And I have something prepared for this as well. And then I'd like to invite the community into even some sharing of blessing chanting together. Suvijana, do you have thoughts of blessings that you would like to share?
I just want
Just a moment, we'll give the mic to you.
just anumodana to all of those who've offered us support in so many ways, materially, food and monetary, and just all the what do you call it? Unseen. You know, we don't take it for granted. We don't. It's just so precious that there is this such enthusiasm to selflessly give, and so just appreciation for all those that we haven't mentioned, but we know in our hearts have nourished us in so many ways. And
I have a list.
pardon me?
I have a list.
We have a list, but there are also probably those not listed.
Yes.
And just could just see the deity smiling down the devas, and so the blessings. I guess we bless ourselves. This is the thing. I had gone to the Wat when I was about to receive Anagarika ordination, and I asked Ajahn Mahabhasar, would you say a blessing for me after my receiving the Anagarika precepts? And he said, no, you bless yourself. And so just the joy that comes in giving and whatever we do to help. It was beautiful to hear Kim's reflection about how everyone's so eager to help one another, and just being that mutual care. So this is its own blessing, the joy that comes from giving and the joy that comes from really doing the best to purify our hearts. So I just want to express my huge anumodana to everyone for everything that they're doing to. I'm saying it in the present tense as well. It's like it hasn't really ended. It's still going forward. So blessings to everyone who's participated in any way.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. For anyone who's joining us live on YouTube, I'd like to invite you, if you have blessings you'd like to share, you're welcome to write them into the chat. And for anyone here who would just like to write in a blessing during this time, you're welcome to. I said I have a list. I know, as Ayya was saying, that there are many who will not be on the list. And I want to remember those here, and my apologies in a way for anyone who I might not recognize. I want to recognize all fortunate and blessed causes and conditions, and that means all of us and everyone who's been a part. So, a couple things in the chat I can read. Oh yes, please. You don't have to read everything in the chat, though. It's welcome to put in, and others will be able to read. Yes.
Okay. Nisha says, I feel deeply grateful to be able to hear Buddha's teachings from Dhammadharini. Heartfelt gratitude to Ayya Tathaloka and everyone who made this possible. I am overjoyed to see each of you happy and smiling. Vipada saying, Dhammadharini's most sincere practice makes the Sangha want to practice. Sadhu, we are blessed to have your teachings. Blessings from Sheila also.
So you're welcome to think, blessings or write them, or any expression that you would like, or just to listen and think about holding all at heart together, just sharing in the blessings together. So I'd especially like to appreciate our Dhammadharini Support Foundation. thanks to whom we can be living this monastic life here in this way with these ancient precepts of the Buddha and these teachings, as monastics together during this time. So I especially want to share appreciation with and bless our Dhammadrini Support Foundation President Susie, Secretary Supatra, Treasurer Dom, Director of Organizational Development Bob, and blessings to and welcoming our new director Paula, who I think might be online together with us. If she is, then Paula Snow. Blessings from all of us here. And a special blessings to our Dana coordinator Lal and all friends who joined in offering hot meal dana and grocery dana and lodgings dana and medicines dana and communications dana, as well as all other kinds of dana support out of kindness with so much generosity during this time. And our retreat managers already mentioned, and to mention again with big blessings, Ayya Brahmawara at our monastery and Venerable Kachayana at our forest hermitage, also our communications and tech support, Seminary Tavira and Venerable Kachayana, and our Dhamma and meditation teachers, especially Ayya Brahmawara, also Sayadaw Ujagara, and also now at the end, Ayya Sufi Jana, all of our participants, and me, and Ayya Tathaloka, all of our participants, both with us in person and those who have faithfully joined from afar. And I want to bless all our friends and Sangha members who have passed away during these past 3 months. And I actually have a list because I'd like to really especially send blessings to all of them. To Venerable Ayya Mie Vimala, who passed away on January 2nd. To our dear Dhamma friend Shuli Goodman, who passed away on January 3rd. To our dear Dhamma friend Barbara Mann, who passed away on January 13th. To our great benefactor, Venerable Master Xing Yun, who passed away on February 5th. To Ayya Nanda Bodhi's mom, great benefactor and offering such a wonderful monastic to this world, in fact 2 of them, Ruth Elise Cardiff, who passed away on March 27th, and to our dear friend and hermitage neighbor, Bruce Johnson, who passed away on March 27th. So I know there are many others who I didn't list, who you might be thinking about, who you might know about. I'd just like to hold them all at heart together and share the blessings of this practice and all of the teachings together with all of them. And I'd like to especially share blessings with all those who are still recovering from the bomb cyclones, the 12 or 13 atmospheric rivers, etc. in California, and with tornadoes these last 2 weeks in the states to the east of us, as well as all those who are in grave and trying circumstances near and far. Humans and the non-human beings, those born and those to be born, everywhere around the world. Sabbe sata bhavantu sukhitata awera sukhajiwino. So last but not at all least, we want to share blessings with all of our guardian angels, especially our parents, our grandparents, all of our maternal and paternal ancestors, back to everyone, to all beings, to all the guardian spirits of the earth. And then we return back to those who have been like the sun and moon, the luminaries to us, our Dhamma teachers, our preceptors, our Dhamma friends, back to the Buddha as the great Kalyanamitta. And to the Sangha of Arahants, all those who have passed down the most precious Dhamma teachings and path of practice to us. To all of them, our highest gratitude and blessing them. So now I'd like to request a screen share. Some of you may know this chant. If you know it, then you're welcome to join in chanting together, or just listen and place your palms before your heart. I'd like to invite all the members of our monastic community who are here together. Welcome to join in chanting together. So, do you have English also? Okay, good. So we'll chant in Pali and then we'll chant in English. This is the reflection on sharing blessings. Namayang utisana tithana katayo panamasem.
Nimina punya kamena
Upajaya gunutaram acharyo pakara chamata pita chanyatakan suryo chanti maraja kunawanta narapicha Brahmamara Chayenda Chalokapala Chadevatam Yamo Mita Manosa Chamachata Verika Picha Sape Sata Sukhi Hontum Punyani Pakatani Me Sukhan Chatividang Tento Kipang Papetawo Matang Imina Punyakamena Imina Udisena Cha Kipahang Sulapechewa Tanupadana Chetanang Yesantane Hinathamma Yavanipana Tomamang Nasantu Sapatayewa Yatajato Pawe Pawe Uju Chitang Satipanya Saleko Viryamina Maralapantunokasang Katun Chavirye Sume Buddhati Pawaronato Dhammonato Varutamom Nato Pacheka Buddhocha Sankho Nato Taromamang Te Sotamanu Pawenam Marokasam Labhantumam. Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from our practice, may our spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, our mothers, our fathers, and our relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest devas and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death. May those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of our lives. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from our practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, that realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May we have upright minds, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken our resolve. The Buddha is our excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is our noble guide. The Sangha is our supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'd like to also share blessings just explicitly with everyone who has offered everything and everyone who could benefit from the blessings and is able to receive them, of all types of beings. Share with all. So now I'd like to say welcome to continue to join us this coming Sunday and Tuesday with meditation, sutta study, and Dhamma talks with Ayya Suvijana. Maybe me too. Perhaps we'll see next Tuesday. If the doctors don't need me for procedure at that time, maybe. And I'll say I'm hopeful to offer some follow-up teachings myself, as I mentioned earlier when speaking with Sheila, on questions that came up during our first several Uposathas on the various deep Dhamma topics addressed in the Buddhist teaching in the Pali text traditions and Buddhist Tipitakas, and their meaning in their Indic context. If conditions are conducive and supportive, I aspire to offer these as short teachings on each of these topics on our Dhammadrini YouTube channel. And then I want to say 2 weeks from now, after April 20th, as we welcome Ayasopanas, well, all things being impermanent, we don't know, but we're looking forward to welcoming Ayasopanas' emergence from long retreat. And she has said, or written in a note, that she is happy upon emergence from retreat to offer a retreat for all of our Dhamma friends on practicing for destruction of the taints, setting the groundwork for transformation. So there's this inspiration and aspiration. So welcome for whatever we're able to offer and share. This anumodana to all who make that possible, and welcome to join in. And anicca sankhara, all things being impermanent, all conditions being impermanent. Now it's time for araham. We'd like to offer our homage, our veneration and reverence to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and to the Sangha. These jewels, these treasures, and their great and noble qualities of refuge and support for the Dhamma in our lives. If you can see the Buddha image here, or you have
some representation of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha in your hearts. Let's turn to that all together now. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagavam Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Buddho Menato. The Buddha is my best friend. Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammam Dhammam Namasami. Dhammo Menato. Dhamma is my best friend. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Sangham Namami. Saṅgho Menato. Sangha is my best friend. Happy full moon, Uposatha night to everyone, or whatever time it is. May the goodness we have gained not be lost. May we grow in the path, and for whatever remains of it, may we attend to the teaching and path of practice well, and experience the fruits of this noble path for ourselves and together in the jewel of the Sangha.